2 prisoners wore fake suicide belts and shouted Allahu Akbar as they tried to kill a prison officer during a terrorist attack at a maximum security jail, a court has heard. Brusthom Ziamani, 25, and Baz Hockton, 26, attacked kind and helpful Mr Trundle with homemade weapons at HMP Whitemoor in Cambridgeshire on January the 9th, the Old Bailey was told. The pair also wore fake suicide belts that had wires coming out of it during the attack, the court heard. Prosecutor Annabel Darlow QC said Mr Trundle was attacked for terrorist purposes by Ziamini, who is serving a prison sentence for preparing to commit a terrorist act, and Hockton, who the prosecutor said registered his Islamic faith at the prison, but has been corrupted into extremism and radicalised. Ms Darlow told jurors, "The attack on Prison Officer Trundle was carefully planned and executed using a number of makeshift weapons constructed from the limited materials available to 2 men being held in prison, including a homemade shank, lumps of twisted metal which had been covered in fabric to form grips, and 2 makeshift metal stabbing implements." She said the defendants planned to lure a target to a store cupboard on the pretext of asking a prison officer to fetch a spoon. Mr Trundle was targeted in his head, upper chest and neck areas as he held his arms up and shouted for help, Ms Darlow said. When they carried out the attack they shouted Allahu Akbar, Allah is most great, she told the court. During the attack, a nurse and another prison officer attempted to intervene and were also attacked and injured by Ziamani, it was alleged. Ziamani then immediately returned to the assault on Mr Trundle, while Hockton chased and violently confronted another prison officer, the court heard. When another officer approached, Ziamani opened up his jacket to expose a fake suicide belt and said, "I've got a bomb," jurors were told. The court heard it took 5 or 6 officers to restrain Ziamani, who was laughing and muttering Allahu Akbar before the belt with wires coming out of it was cut off him. Asked about the belt, which jurors heard both men were wearing, Ziamani allegedly told an officer, "I just wish it was real. It's a suicide belt," Ms Darlow said. Both men strenuously and forcefully resisted all efforts to restrain them, and after the attack Mr Ziamani attempted to barricade himself into his cell. It is the prosecution case that the defendants were motivated to commit the attack by extremist Islamic ideology. It was a terrorist attack. Jurors heard Ziamini is serving time at HMP Whitemoor after being convicted of engaging in conduct in preparation for committing an act of terrorism. It was said Ziamini was arrested in August 2014 after telling an ex-girlfriend he planned to attack a member of the British military forces. Extremist writings were recovered from both prisoners after the attack, including a 4-page handwritten letter carried by Ziamani spelling out his expectation of immediate martyrdom and strong belief in violent jihad, jurors heard. Material was also recovered from Hockton's cell setting out his desire to become a martyr, the court was told. The defendants deny attempted murder and the trial continues.